All right, guys. All right, I think we're live, but let me make sure. And there we are. And you guys saw me spitting my gum out as I see it here in the monitor. All right, guys. So, I think Sim Standard Podcast episode 193. Just going to wait here a few moments, man, just to make sure you guys are off up in here before we get it kicking up, before we go full swing here. Let me just make sure everything is streaming correctly. I've had some issues for whatever reason, man, when I stream to YouTube. Even though my settings are showing as public, for whatever reason, they're starting to show private when I go streaming. But there it is. It looks like you guys are in there. I see a couple of you guys already viewing, so we should be good to go. So welcome, guys, to the latest episode of the Sim Standard Podcast. Myself, SimFBallCritic, SimFBallCritic, however you want to say it, along with Smitty. You guys know who we are, but I've realized I have to say that because I've gotten some feedback from some people who don't know us. So there you are. So we're going to have to give the formal intro from now on. But welcome, man. We appreciate you guys coming back. Hopefully you guys showed your love and your support to Smitty last episode. I did get a chance to tune in to the show in my absence. I went and watched it on the rebound. So hopefully, I'm hoping most of you guys were there to view it. But let's get right into it, man. It's going to be a shorter show tonight. Obviously, we're getting started a little bit late. You know, life calls sometimes, and we have to make the necessary adjustments. So let me let you guys know what we're going to talk about tonight. First and foremost, we're going to give a little bit of information in regards to the NBA playoffs. I know that's Smitty's wheelhouse. He's all over basketball, just like football, so I know he'll have a lot to say about that. What we're probably going to do, I'm going to ask the question to Smitty and myself, going into the first round, who we think is the most dangerous team, maybe in the East and the West. Obviously, people are thinking that, the Dubs are going to get back there. And, some people are saying, are the Cavs going to get there? But we're going to go outside of those teams and, give our thoughts on who we think could be the most dangerous teams going into the playoffs, as well as another topic Smitty just threw at me before we started. We want to talk about real quick, man. Do we think Ben Simmons should get Rookie of the Year, given the fact that he's technically a second-year NBA pro, even though he didn't play last year? So we'll talk about that quickly. But then, guys, referencing the title, we definitely want to talk about Access Football being on consoles. I know Smitty went over that last week, but I definitely wanted to further that conversation and give my thoughts on it. Take a slightly different angle as well. We'll discuss a little bit, as far as, will it be successful, and what we also think the challenges may be, the challenges that they may face, going to the console. And then last but not least, man, we'll wrap up with the Casey Powell Lacrosse 18. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with that, but it is a lacrosse game they've been making for a few years now. Per Operation Sports, they have a release date of April the 17th. That's next Tuesday. And the angle that we're going to take is the fact that they are a platform that, is produced by Big Ant Studio. And the reason why that's important, guys, in case you don't know it, the IMV Gaming, the whole Gridiron Champions, it's, supposedly they'll be working with Big Ant Studios as well. So we definitely want to discuss that in that regard and, give you your thoughts, give you our thoughts. I'm getting tongue tied here. As far as can we look at that to get some kind of idea of what, maybe IMV Gaming with their game might be. So there you have it. So without further ado, I'll throw it to Smitty first. If you want to start off, Smitty, with the question about the Rookie of the Year, we could definitely start there. What are your thoughts? Do you think it should go to Mitchell, or should Ben Simmons even be in that conversation?
Well, I mean, my thing is, and first and foremost, shout out to everybody tuning in and that will check this out. But as far as Rookie of the Year, this is my thing, okay? Like, I'm not necessarily looking at the rules of it, the technicality, because Ben Simmons did have the advantage of spending that year basically playing in the background and being able to get seasoned up before actually having that opportunity to play. Whereas Mitchell, he just came out raw. You know what I'm saying? Just raw off the draft. And he went through all of the ups, downs, in betweens of being a rook. And he was straight up went into a leadership role. You know what I mean? Instead of being a component before actually, he just blown. You know, he was a guy that just took off. But the thing is, when you go back and you look at a guy like a Blake Griffin, it was the same case scenario with him. What if he came in raw, you know, and even though he was the same kind of situation, he got injured like in a preseason or something like that, which would have been his rookie campaign, and then he ended up going out and he was, you know, he was without. I mean, he was injured. You know, he had to sit out a while with that injury. That first season, he came back and he put up some legit numbers, like a seasoned NBA, you know, an NBA player with some seasoning. Like, he got that chance. And to see the difference with Ben Simmons, I mean, look, yes, Ben Simmons has some triple doubles. That's awesome. Yes, he plays a leading role on his team. There's no question. He's a key contributor. But at the same time, who did I'm like, you look at the Donovan Mitchell situation. And I mean, look, you lost Gordon Hayward. Like, that was basically like the franchise guy over there. You know what I'm saying? And you lost him in the offseason. And then Mitchell comes in. You didn't draft him with the expectation that he was going to be all of that. You know what I mean? Because if he was that guy, he would have been the #1 pick overall. I mean, now that you look at it, he would have been #1 pick. Mm-hmm. So you look at what's going on now with this going back and forth and everything in the media. I think that push come to shove, it's either got to be a co-MVP, like Jason Kidd and Grant Hill had, or it's got to go to Donovan, because he's a straight up pure rookie playing like this. You know what I'm saying? And where, like I said, he didn't have the seasoning, he didn't have the extra time. So if you're not going to it up, because both teams making the playoffs, respectively, you know, East, Western Conference, hey, you know, you could make whatever formalities or whatever, you know, additional reasoning, like, oh, well, Simmons is a 7-footer. Of course he's going to get rebounds. He better get rebounds. It's like, okay, you know, I like it's like kind of a reach a little bit. So, you said Embiid was going to get Rookie of the Year. Okay, yeah, see, that's a good point about Embiid as well. See, that's another case scenario. But he was I think part of the reason was because he was out with injury for so long. And even though he had great numbers, but he was out for so long, that's probably why they held that against him. But yeah, I think Donovan's going to get it outright, but if they give it to Simmons outright, that's robbery. That's highway robbery. Otherwise, like I said, it's got to either be Cole or they got to give it to Mitchell outright. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, man, and
you go on now.
I'm definitely not going to be a biased Sixers fan, as I say it with the hat on, but. It's crazy, man, because it's always these rules and regulations, et cetera, et cetera. I can see it on both sides. If they want to say, okay, it's based on when you play, and maybe take the name out of it, you know, because this has happened before. Maybe it's, you know, first season award or something, you know. I could see Ben Simmons. I could see why he would get it. Not to take anything away from Donovan Mitchell, but I think as a whole, Ben Simmons, what he's doing is incredible. Also, I do think what Mitchell is doing is incredible. Like Smitty said, being in Utah, I mean, even at the Sixers, Simmons has got help. you know, he's got when Embiid was on the floor. You know, he's some kind of way we've developed a lot of perimeter shooting. I mean, even guys like Covington, who I knew could shoot, but now it's really showing up. J.J. Redick doing his thing. You know, you got guys like Saric coming in there doing his thing. You know, there's a lot of young pieces and a lot of shooting around Simmons, even though Simmons deserves it. What he's doing, the triple doubles and such, phenomenal. So I think as a whole, I would give it to him if I had a vote. But like Smitty said, technically, you got to look at Mitchell and say, man, this dude comes in. I mean, he is a pure rookie. And he wasn't picked as high as some of these other guys. Like, he wasn't what everybody thought Simmons was going to be his first year. He didn't get picked like Markelle Fultz, the #1 guy. He wasn't Lonzo Ball. You know, he wasn't the guy that everybody was talking about. And he has turned out to be a phenomenal player. So I think it's only fair, if they want to look at it like that, give it to Mitchell. Or if you want to honor Ben Simmons for what he's doing, you got to have it cold. It's got to be cold, just like you said, what they did back in the day. I would be cool with that. But I think, you know, just where Mitchell is playing, looking at the team around him, looking at everything he's done for that team, I wouldn't be mad if they gave it to him. And he is an actual rookie. But I think it does get tricky, man, because it's both technically their first season playing. So I get it, but I just wish it was a better way to resolve it, you know, instead of it having to come down to, well, per the rule. And that's where, to me, I'm like, see, there we go. Now it's here it is again. Now, you know, it's that whole, it's cloudy now because everyone is saying, but is he really a rookie? But is he not? So I think they got to find a better way to deal with that situation personally. But yeah, I agree with Smitty, man. The best thing to do it, go co. Don't chump Mitchell. And they both deserve it. So go ahead, and it's been done before. So there's no reason why you can't do it now. Go the safe route so nobody's upset. And there you go. And I like the little troll move by Mitchell too with the sweatshirt. That was pretty dope.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, but that's all I got for that. So just knocking down the door a little bit more, Smitty, with the NBA, man. Let's jump into the playoff stuff before we go off into the Axis football stuff. First of all, what are your thoughts going into the playoffs, and who do you think, if there is one on each side, or maybe it's just one team, but who do you feel might be the most dangerous right now going into the playoffs?
I mean, the most dangerous
team
going into the playoffs right now?
Who's that team outside of the Warriors, outside of Cleveland and LeBron, that we can look back? And I know this is a tough question because it's tough me even thinking about it, but who is the team that you think could make some noise and could mess around and sneak in there, possibly get to the finals or at least to the conference finals?
See, I would say Raptors, but
yeah,
it all depends upon, historically, DeRozan and Lowry both vanish, especially DeRozan. He falls right off. Like his jump shot just goes completely broke in the playoff situation. Yeah, especially after the first round. I would say them. A team that could really do some damage, that would really be that would be like on the sneak tip, Pacers. Mm-hmm. Especially looking at the East the way it is. Pacers. Now, look, okay, Sixers would have to really ball. I mean, they really would have to ball out. Yeah, they really have to ball out. But you have no Kyrie, no Gordon Hayward with the Celtics, because Buck's not going to do it. I mean, Giannis, my guy and everything, but he needs some help. He needs some legit help over there before they could really say anything. And I mean, Jabari Parker is nice over there too, but they need some help, and they need some consistency with players being healthy that can be effective and contribute. So I got to rule the Bucks out.
And they looked
but
like on the last night against the Sixers. My
Yeah,
goodness.
yeah,
Ugh.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I would say the surprise team as far as the Eastern Conference is concerned, I would say possibly out of the East would be the Sixers. I would say Sixers or Pacers would be my sleeper teams. That would be the ones. It'd be the Sixers or Pacers. As far as the West is concerned, though, oh, there's no sleeper. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no sleeper. Pelicans, no way they're beating the Warriors. Possibly they could give the Spurs a run, but there's no way they're beating the Warriors or the Spurs in a series. I don't see that. Now, what could be interesting is because Rockets are beating the Wolves. That's for sure. Thunder and Jazz, I mean, unless things just go completely awry over there with the well, you know what? I could see if the Jazz clicks decently, especially on the defensive side of the ball, they could take the Thunder out. So that would be. But as far as getting all the way to the finals, I mean, I would say this: Utah Jazz would be my sleeper team to get to the conference finals. I'll say that. They ain't getting to the finals, but to get to the conference finals, yes, because it'd be miraculous for them to beat the Rockets. Now, some way, somehow, I mean, the bottom would have to just fall straight out from Houston. But if the bottom just fell out from Houston and the Wolves pull that off, now I could definitely say Jazz got a shot. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that would mean that the Warriors would have to be upset in order for that to happen. But I just don't see that happening. I just don't see that. I mean, as much as Dame Lillard, I mean, look, Dame, mad respect to him and everything for saying he gonna run his whole career with the Blazers. I love that old school mentality, but he doesn't have enough. If LaMarcus Aldridge never left the Blazers, then I would say they got a shot at possibly going to the conference finals. Like, they beat the Pelicans, and they definitely got a shot at beating the Warriors. But because they would have grown with experience as a team. But nah, I don't see that. I don't see it happening. So yeah, I would say the only sleeper really would be Utah on the West. But far as they would go as conference finals, and that's it.
Yeah, man, I think I'm pretty close to what you said there. In the East, of course, I mean, I wouldn't be a fan if I didn't say that the Sixers got a chance. I don't know if I would say sleeper, but I would say it would be a sleeper team from the beginning of the season. Like, I would never imagine that I would be sitting here as a Sixers fan and saying, wow, we're the number 3 team in the conference. You remember, guys, what I said a long time ago, man. I think we're going to get to the playoffs this year. That was it. I'm talking 8th spot, 6th spot. You know, like the lowest spot. I know I might be off there because I don't know all the basketball, the spots. But I think there is 8, right? On each side, or 6 or whatever. So I'm thinking the Sixers might be the 8th spot or the 7th or something. Or if they somehow went up to 6. Never in a million years would I think at this point of the season Sixers are the number 3 team and on a 15-game win streak, and the Cleveland Cavaliers are below them. I never would have thought that. So I think, man, the Sixers got a chance to get to at least the conference finals. They have a strong chance, and the reason why I would say that, man, is because when Embiid is on the floor, him and Ben Simmons, what they're able to do together, it's pretty phenomenal, man. And if you look at the East, I don't know who challenges them. Just that 1-2 punch. I don't know who really challenges Embiid in the post. However, I can't wait to see this first round against Miami because, you know, him and Whiteside got a little thing going on. That's going to be an interesting series. It's going to show me where the Sixers are at. I'm not expecting them to do much. You know, being a realistic fan, they're still young. You know, playoffs is a whole different ball game. All of us guys who've watched basketball, we understand that. They're still young. But you never know. You know, with folks now being able to come off the bench and play, They got a little squad out there. Watch out for my Sixers, man. But also, like Smitty said, what if a team like the Pacers mess around and get Cleveland out of there? Because let's face it, I honestly don't see Cleveland going to the finals this year. I don't see it. I think if they get
I don't
there,
see it either.
It would be because of LeBron James playing like he did in the first finals against the Warriors when he was by himself. That's the only way it's gonna happen. And then when he get to the finals, he's gonna be so spent. But that's the only. I don't see a clear path through the Pacers or whoever else they would have to face. Toronto or I don't trust the Wizards. No disrespect to the Wizards, I just don't trust them. But let's say Cleveland get past the Pacers and if Toronto beats Washington, the Raptors is going to be a tough contest for the Cavs. That straight up. So those are the teams I'm going to go with. I think Toronto. I would say Toronto, but I don't trust them either. We all know for whatever reason, Lowry and DeRozan just haven't been the guys to show up against Cleveland or in the playoffs, so I don't trust them. So, sleeper teams, I'm right there with Smitty. Pacers, maybe the Sixers could be one of those sleeper teams that mess around and get to the conference finals. In the West, wowzers. I'm gonna throw an old school curveball on everybody. Man, don't count out the Spurs, man. I just saw something. I know. Listen, it's supposed to be a bold prediction. I had to be biased in the East.
Yeah.
But in the West, I'm going to just throw a bold prediction out there. I saw something on Twitter. I don't know if it's confirmed, but they saying that Kawhi Leonard is playing in Game 1. That's interesting because I wonder what it does to the dynamic to the team. But Steph Curry-less Golden State, I mean, you still got KD. I mean, you still got a mean squad. Even if Steph Curry wasn't there, KD, Klay Thompson, Draymond, I mean, you still got a squad. But they just haven't looked that good to me. You know, and I'm not gonna get on them for not winning 70+ games like we used to seeing, but they just don't look that good right now. And again, no Steph Curry. Don't be surprised if somehow Greg Popovich and those fundamental Spurs find a way to get it done. That would be interesting. That would change the whole dynamic of the playoffs. And, you know, Houston, I expect them to get to the conference finals. The only other team, Smitty, I will say I'll go opposite what you said. I don't think it's going to happen, but again, I'm going to be bold. Maybe OKC gets past Utah. And maybe they make it. I don't know. Maybe it's a Spurs Thunder. And I know, guys, I know y'all probably going to kill me in the comments. This is supposed to be fun, bold prediction. I don't think it's going to happen. But wouldn't that be interesting if the Spurs sneak out past the Golden State Warriors? I think the Spurs have enough to beat either the Pelicans or the Blazers if that were to happen. And boom, just like that, they're in the conference finals. So we'll see. You know, it's going to be fun to watch. This is my favorite time to watch basketball anyway, so we shall see. Now, oh, somebody said the tweet was from last year. I was about to say, man, I mean, thanks, Kia. Greg Popovich being the coach he is, I just wouldn't expect, even with Kawhi Leonard, that you just throw him out there. I wouldn't expect that to happen. However, you never know. It could happen. Who knows? But that's my bold prediction. So let's move on to Access Football on consoles, guys. I think I'll go first because Smitty covered a lot of this last week. But, so Access Football, for you guys that don't know, and forgive me, I don't remember all of the names of the guys who are working on it. I believe, just cite my sources here. I'm going to put a link in the comments, guys. Shout outs to DML Network. Guy hit me up on Twitter. I can't remember his Twitter name, but he does a podcast. It's episode 2. He had JD Richards on from one of the lead designers for Access Football. I listened to it. It was a good listen. And he's actually invited me to come on his podcast. So I will be on there at some point. Maybe next week. We'll see. But I'm going to put the link here in the comments. I want you guys, whenever you get your spare time, go take a look, listen to it. Because they're talking about what the game has to offer, what they're trying to do. The fact that they're not They know they can't be direct competition to Madden, but maybe they could do things that Madden, has kind of put on the back burner. Primarily, they're talking about franchise, so I think they're approaching it well. But here's the angle I want to take on it. I did a video a couple days ago, and I talked about Access Football being on consoles. I often read comments, man, and I just pay attention to what people are saying. I get a feel for the community. I look on Twitter, etc., etc. And the very thing that I said in the video, Smitty, people are already doing. The thing that I said not to do. I see people already saying, man, if it ain't as good as Madden, or if it don't look like Madden, or if it ain't got the graphics, I'm not gonna give it a chance. Fine. But here's the problem. Everybody needs to look at it like this. This is a game. Look at it like Backbreaker. I never played Access Football. I never played it on a PC. I don't have a PC. I'm not a PC gamer. I haven't played their mobile product. I didn't even know they had one till listening to, the podcast that I linked there in the chat. So my bad for that. I'm the type of guy that I want to support all of these companies, all of these people, rather. These guys are really their own independent company who are trying to make a difference, trying to give an alternative for those who maybe want to do something different. All right? I think it's a huge win that these guys are coming over to the console because they are primarily built on the PC. That's phenomenal. You got to applaud those guys. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and throw a round of applause in there. Hopefully it plays. Hopefully you guys are hearing it. Got to give those guys a round of applause, man. Because, again, these guys are not professional. These are guys who went to school. Some of these guys went to school for, design, etc., and they're engineers and things like that. And they're doing it. They're making a difference. They're trying to create an alternative. So let me get back to the point. I feel like this community is going to be the downfall of Access Football. The reason why I say that is because this football community is all talk. Very little action. Smitty knows this. I remember a few years back there was a survey out there, a poll or whatever. I can't even remember exactly what it was now, but it was basically like a petition. It was a petition to try to get 2K football back. Until this day, still very few signatures on it, which is amazing. Some people who are out here campaigning, they want the football back and all of that, never signed it. So my point is, I think if we really want to give somebody a chance, not to overtake Madden, but I want to use Backbreaker as an example. What if Access Football introduces something in franchise, since they say they're going to go heavy on that Madden doesn't have? The beauty of it is that it's on console. And now that's another reference point that we can use to say, hey, man, listen, you got these guys over here. They not no billion-dollar company, and come on, we can't get this in Madden. And you get people like myself and Smitty and some of you other guys, make a few videos about it, throw it at EA, throw it in their face. Like, come on, man, this is ridiculous. They killing y'all in that. Independent company. That's why you want to support their effort. However, I don't want to steal Smitty's thunder because I'm sure he probably said this last week, but we talked a little bit off air. Here's also going to be the problem and the challenges that they're going to face. We've all seen what the game looked like on PC. Let's face it. No, it doesn't look like Madden. It doesn't look like any current gen console game. I wouldn't imagine it to be much different from what it is on the PC right now. Because, you would think PC gives them more ability to beef up the game graphically and everything than what the console would do. I'm just thinking that. I'm not a PC gamer, but I see people all the time saying how much better PCs are with settings and ultra settings and rendering and all that stuff. So I've always been told by other people, like Smitty knows this. He's told me this, and guys like Hard 8 Times, and those guys who play Westy, these guys who play Battlefield and stuff on PC. Some people is like, why are you even playing it on console? So I'm under the assumption that games are better on PC. So you have to look at it in this regard. They're going from PC down to console. If you watch that podcast, JD Richards said himself, essentially most games are built on PCs and then they port over to console. He's basically telling you exactly what they're doing, adding more features, improving their game. But I would think, Smitty, the base point will be what Axis Football 2017 was, or maybe 18 was already out. I don't know. I'm thinking, was 18 already out and they're going to PC with the same one, or is 18 a brand new game? I don't know. I'm not sure.
No, 18 is going to be a brand new game. Brand new. Because it's not, yeah.
So I would assume the base point will still be what they had in 2017. I'm just guessing. So we can't go into it thinking, because I see people out there already saying, oh, this is the direct competition. Like, come on, man. If you're going into it like that, you're not giving the game a chance. You're going to cut the legs off of that game before it even gets a shot. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm going to support them. I'll go ahead and buy the game. I mean, I usually don't do stuff like that. Like, what I'm saying is I usually don't buy something that I might not play for long. But I feel like I don't think the price point is going to be crazy. And I say, hey, I'll do my part and I'll support it. But I do agree with Smitty. Smitty, told me that, and I'm sure he'll tell you guys the same thing. He's not sure if would do that. And I agree. I mean, because if you're not going to play something, why spend your money on it? I just said that, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll go ahead and show my support. I'll do it, and I'll play it a little. And, if I like it, great. If I don't. But at the end of the day, I don't want this community to start acting as if this is going to be the game that blows the doors off of any other football game. It is virtually impossible. Coming onto the console the first time, it's impossible to think that this game is going to be amazing. And I'm talking about comparing it to, okay, I'll take y'all a step further. Comparing it to 2K5. Comparing it to 2K8. Comparing it to Madden 05. Comparing it to Madden 10. Comparing it to Madden 12. I mean, I'm not even talking these consoles. I'm just trying to say there's no way that game is going to be from top to bottom better than any of those products. So know that going into it. And like I'm going to do, I'm going to play it, see what they have, what things that I think are great ideas, what things maybe, hey, Madden, hey, again, you got this little company over here. What's up? These guys are able to do it, and they're working out of their basements. So that's going to be my angle, my motivation, because like I told Smitty, physics is what influenced physics. I mean, physics and backbreaker is what influenced physics to be in Madden when it did. Everybody knows that. So every little game matters. And the fact that it's on console, I don't know the people at the top at EA, I don't know how much they'll pay attention, but trust me, all noise is heard. So if this game does something well, and there's enough people talking about it and showing it, you never know what could happen. So that's how I'm going to approach it. But again, let me warn you all, do not act like this is going to be an apples to apples comparison. I can promise you it won't. Now, again, like JD said, maybe they're able to do things and offer some things and franchise that Madden is not doing, and that'll be great leverage that we can, throw back in EA's face and maybe get them to move the needle a little more on franchise, barring whatever they're doing in 19. But there you go. Those are my thoughts on this, Smitty. I think it's great that they're doing it, but I'm a little afraid for them, man. Because the last thing I wanted to say, I'm a little scared for them because here's the last thing that I heard listening to that podcast is that JD Richards said they won't have the option on console to allow the customization that you are used to from PC. That's major. That's major. Because the casual fan is going to look at the game and compare it to what they see in Madden NFL, and they probably won't even give it a chance. So our crowd here, we're the only people who will probably even pay attention to it, just to be truly frank. So we'll see. I'm rooting for them, but we'll see what happens. What you got, Smitty?
Hey, first of all, hey, I mean, you on your Stream Deck, you got a Price is Right losing the game sound effect? Because as soon as you said that, you should have hit that button right there. Play that sound effect, because that's exactly what just happened. Yep. That's exactly what happened with this game as soon as you said that. Because one of the biggest things... I got my daughter up here calling my name, pulling my finger. Oh, let me talk for a minute. Can I talk for a minute, sweetie? Please? Thank you. All right, now, I'll just make a few quick points here off of it. The big deal here is that, like you were saying, there's no, you got consoles, and like we were talking about before, you have consoles. You could buy an Xbox One, probably like $250, $300 right now, a used one. You could get a brand new boy, or you could get an Xbox. You could get an Xbox One X. All that processing power and all that jazz, right? PS4 Pro. You could get a legit. Whatchamacallit? I keep being interrupted. Hey, Sim, go ahead. I gotta attend to this real quick. Hold up. I'll be right back.
All right.
I'll be right back. Just give me a moment.
Yeah, guys, just trying to pick up where Smitty left off. It's going to be a tough hill to climb. Just read some of you guys' comments. Let me see. Neff said, not Neff, but I'm going to get to Neff. NYKia said, what's going to end up happening is that you'll have people overblowing the game, thinking this game is going to compete is insane. Kia, this is exactly what I'm trying to warn this community of ours. And I've hit a button here because I see as soon as I started talking about Access Football, I got 2 dislikes. But hey, listen, I love dislikes, so I don't want nobody to think that I expect to never get a dislike on a video. But it's funny, guys, when you do YouTube, you could tell that there's always a couple people lurking and their feelings are a little hurt or they're pissed off about what you're saying, because, you can almost see it in real time. But listen, we just state the facts, dog. I've been on record saying I'm going to support it. I'm not even trying to tear the game down. I hope they do well. I hope there is things in that game that Madden doesn't do. Because again, like I said, it gives us a fresh product to say, look at this game. Look at what these guys are doing. It's only a handful of these guys. Why can't y'all do that? Because believe it or not, that kind of stuff does matter. It matters. When you can show a product and it's current, and we're not, because I'm not going to say it's been dismissed, but let's be honest. I'm pretty sure the EA devs, even on the dev level, not even talking about the suits level, but on a dev level, I'm sure they're tired of continuing to hear or continuing to talk about, 2K, what they did. That's so old. Sometimes they don't want to pay, as just a normal human feeling. Just think about you guys. You might not want to hear that no more. Think about it if you was in those shoes. You might dismiss stuff that's eons ago because your current product does things way better, even though the game from 20 years ago, and I'm exaggerating there, but it's something from 20 years ago might have had a feature in it that was better. You're going to dismiss that automatically because you feel as if your new product from top to bottom is better. You're going to dismiss it. But if you got something that's current, let's just say franchise mode in 19, let's just say there's things that's not there, and Access Football is providing it, that's a current product. Then you can have all of us, the sim guys, all of us in this football community here, kicking the door down like, yo, what's up? Look at this. What are y'all doing? Look what they're doing. And it's a current thing. Now, again, whether it's listened to or not, who knows? I know the devs listen, but I'm saying I don't know if that's enough to influence those, sitting at the top of the food chain. But it makes a difference, in my opinion, because it's current noise that you can show in the same arena, and there you have it. But at the same time, man, like I'm seeing it. I'm watching people on Twitter acting like, oh, this is going to be, this is going to be my go-to game. And I'm like, if you're not satisfied, which none of us are, but if you're not happy with the state of where Madden is at, I can almost guarantee you that you won't be happy with the state of where that game is at. Now, what you might do is you might choose to pick up that game, I'm sure at a cheaper price, and not support Madden. And hey, I encourage that all the way. Get an alternative. You know, so, because people always hit me with that. Oh, nothing's going to change until we stop buying it. I was like, yeah, you're right. When you stop buying it. Because most of the people who say that to me buy the game every year, which is, I find that hilarious in itself. But it's going to provide an alternative for those who don't want to play Madden and don't want to support it. Now, let's get to what Neff said. This is going to be the real, really tough situation. Neff said, no customization, it could be dead on arrival. Could be, man. Because again, on PC, they're known for the customization and the modding.
Okay.
Yeah, so Smitty's back. So I'm going to throw it back to Smitty. But just the last thing to say about what Neff said, he's right. With no customization, that's going to be a tough hill to climb, man. And again, go listen to the podcast. J.D. Richards says it himself, because they're going to that platform. It restricts them a little bit. It will not be any customization in the first iteration of the game. So we'll see. But yeah, go ahead, Smitty. Pick back up where you left off, brother.
All right. So basically what I'm saying is that we're in this generation of gaming here where you got people that are buying gaming PCs for around $500. Basically, to get into this entry point, you're talking between $350 to $500, or $250. I say $250 to $500 minimum. And you're talking about consoles and 4K TVs and high def this and 60 frames per second that and all that jazz, right? So if we have all of this and you're talking about Access Football, which is clearly not going to meet that bar. If you look on Steam, people aren't giving it rave reviews, and they're like, yo, Access Football, this is that joint. It's not. They're not treating it like that. They're definitely not talking about it like that. So when it comes to this game being put out there, that's why I like what Sim's saying. You know, he's saying he'll support it. See, me, I'm not supporting it. Because, like I said, I've said this every year, ever since my man started working on the game. I said, get this game up to the level of at least a PS2 caliber, like a Madden on PS2. I'd say like at least a caliber of Madden 05 or Madden 06. Then, yeah, I'll mess with it. I'll mess with it then. But right now, no. And it's like saying, you know, I know community-wise people be like, oh, but if we don't support it, that's how we don't get it. It'll end up going away and all that. It's like, no. I don't just support anyone. I just don't support anything. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going to support the game, it has to be something that I actually would get behind. I'm not just going to get behind it just because it's another game, so we got to get behind. No. We want to see this game be legit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see a legitimate game. I want it to get there. And like I was saying, for example, that's like my brother Sim, you know, like he said before, he used to rap back in the day. You know, if he's up here rapping and Azure is a producer and he makes an album full of beats, and Sim got a album where he's got 10-track albums and he's putting them out, I'm going to buy a few copies of his and Azure's because they're my guys. But at the same time, I'm going to actually play them. I'm going to actually listen to them. Because at the same time, I'm still going to give them criticism and be like, hey, you know what? I like this, that, and the third, but I don't think this was good. Or I like this, or I liked all the tracks, and this is what was hot about it. I'm not just gonna blindly throw myself in front of the bus and just be like, OMG, this game is outstanding. Why? Because it's somebody else I'm listening to? No, like that's not there has to be valid reason. Like Azure is doing something that I haven't heard, or that's in the likes of some of the best producers out there, or something I haven't heard yet. and Sim is doing something, and he got these tracks where he's putting it down along the likes of these kind of artists. You know what I mean? So it's like, like what Sim said, you play Axis football and you see something in there that's not in Madden. From that standpoint, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. There's something they doing that's not in Madden. I'm with you on that. But this is what Sim was saying about what Backbreaker did. This is the difference with I would say this is an element that Backbreaker has that puts Backbreaker in its own echelon in comparison to Axis football. It's because Backbreaker, that Euphoria technology and all that, it was already used in Star Wars Force Unleashed. It was already used in Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto before they came out with Backbreaker. So the premise of the technology, you already saw it. It's just that now it's like, all right, let's go ahead and put this thing out. Let's put out this football. Let's put it in the realm of sports, and let's go all in with that. And then when you seen that, that's when it was like, OMG, yo, okay, this is hot. And we all saw how everybody reacted to it off the demo and then the actual game. Now, people are grasping, in my opinion, people are grasping at straws for this Axis football. And what's going to end up happening, like I had guys tweeting me this morning saying, even with Madden, with all these problems and stuff like that they have, man, I'm so glad this year we got choices and options. Oh, man. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what options you really think we got this year, but if you really think that those other options are going to be valid options, then go ahead and go for it. Go ahead and cop it. If you think it is, if you think that Canadian football is, you telling me you're going to legitimately say, I'm going to put down Madden and play this. All right, that's what's up. I'm not even mad at you with that. That's cool. That's your choice. But it's going to be hard if I play Madden, and Madden is by far and by country miles, it's ahead of other games. I'm not going to sit up here in front like, yeah, you know what? I'm about to play this other game over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do that, because I'd be lying to myself to sit up here and say, well, it has these one or two things in it that make it better, but it's not nearly enough. It's not nearly enough for me to sit up here and say, yo, I'm going in, I'm copping this joint. I got to get it. This is that hotness. It's not. It's not, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry. Like, all these indie games and such, it's not hitting like that. For us to honestly get that excited. You know what I mean? So, and it's not, and the thing is, it's not to not, like I said, it's got nothing to do with knocking anybody. It's got nothing to do with knocking any of these dudes and their efforts and all that stuff. I commend everybody's efforts, from Cal Anderson and all them cats. Whatever it is they doing, whenever these games all come out, keep producing it, keep building your game until it is something truly legit, until it is on that level. You got to do what you got to do. But what's going to happen in this community, like he said, like what Sim said, especially from this community here, it's going to get slam danced on.
Oh, man.
Come June. As soon as, well, I will say this. I got to put it like this. I don't know, because seeing how EA Play went last year, all we saw was the long shot trailer, and that was it. We didn't see anything until leading up to dang near release. We didn't really see any trailers or nothing like that. So I don't know how the marketing approach is going to be this year, but I will say this, though. If there's a legitimate gameplay trailer, or if there's some legitimate gameplay shown, then I'm just going to tell you now, come June, it's already over. And what's going to happen is you're going to see guys out here overly compensate and overly apologize for Axis football, because they want to give some kind of some kind of credence as like, oh, but you got to play this game, because it's just like when I have discussions and debates with some guys in the NBA Live community. They overcompensate for the game. For the game's shortcomings. They overcompensate for it, knowing that the game has problems and shortcomings and things that just clearly are not in the game yet. But yet they overcompensate for what's there and just be like, oh, it's the exact same. It's the same thing as 2K has. No, it's not. And it's clear as day what the game doesn't have. And I guarantee you, I won't say I guarantee, but I mean, you can virtually guarantee it. You're going to see that happen out here. You're going to see people look for flaws and find a flaw in Madden and be like, oh, they didn't fix anything in this game this year. Now let me pull up Axis Football and show you how great it is. Like, watch. That is guaranteed going to happen. But it's not going to make any sense to do. It's going to be like, bro, that's why when Sim does it, I do it, other people do it too. Game changers and all that stuff. You're going to see us stream the games. You're going to see the game play straight up. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see the game play straight up, and you're going to see what the game has and doesn't have. Now, when you see people out here overly exaggerate and make these big old drastic assumptions and claims about what's really bad and what's really good, the game's going to tell. Because that's the beautiful thing I love about doing streams and showcasing the game straight up. Anybody can cut a game and make it look bad and make another game look good. But you can't cut something in the middle of a stream when it's right there and it's live and you got to play it for what it is. So
I got a game with me and Azure. I ain't mean to cut you off, Smitty, but I want to
go
chime
ahead,
in
man.
real quick. I got a game that me and Azure played in the Sim Standard Radio League. And I'm thinking I might post it. I don't know if I am or not, but I was gonna post it and just say, "Look, this is Sim gameplay. That it make Madden look phenomenal." I can cut that thing the way y'all would be like, "Yo, what game they playing?" And that's just case in point. You can find good and bad in almost every game. You know what I mean? But even if I just put the game up in raw form, you guys will look at it and be like, yo, that game is playing really, really good, but it's the way we play the game. And the way other people play the game exposes a lot of the shortcomings of the game. So that's just case in point what he's saying. My bad. Go ahead, Smitty.
No. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You can take a game, you can take Madden and do a mixtape and make the game look outstanding. Dang. What's this gameplay? Just saying. It could be done with any of these games. So that's why I'm just saying, man, like look, we know Madden's got problems. We know we want a secondary option, but like we said in the past, we're not looking for just any option. It's got to be a valid, viable option. It's got to have something legit, just like NBA Live. Live 18 has a lot missing from it and a lot that it needs to add, and a lot it needs to expand on. But at the same time, playing the one and playing the street, that's fun. There's value. There's legitimate entertainment value there. You see what I'm saying? There's valid entertainment in that game. And that's my whole point. I want to be able to say, you know what? While NBA 2K does have these things, but at the same time, I could go to Live and look what it has. Can I do the exact same thing with Axis Football in the gameplay department and be able to honestly say, excuse me, when Axis comes out, what these dudes are doing, I could say 100%. What Axis has, this is something that I could definitely look forward to in Madden. What Madden has in comparison, this is why I don't mind putting the sticks down for Madden. Because I could go ahead and play I could play this Axis, or I could play this Canadian, or I could play, Gridiron Champions, whatever, or I could play the Cal Anderson joint, because this game has this game has that, this game has that. Oh, okay, cool. And that's my whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And like what my man Andrew is up here saying in the chat here, see, my thing is this. NBA Live, he said NBA Live is fun as long as you didn't expect 2K. See, that's true, But at the same time, what I'm looking for, NBA Live is fun as long as it's replicating basketball in some level of authentic way. Mm-hmm. That's my point of enjoyment. Whether you on the street with it or you playing in the league with it. That's why dudes then gravitate to the league part and play more on the street part, because the street part's better. Well, you know what I'm saying? Which I think is a bit crazy to be able to say that, but that's true. So what I'm saying is that with Madden, are we going to have the same thing with Madden and Access Football, or excuse me, the Canadian joint? Are we going to be on that same? Is it going to be that same tangent? In regards of the element of the sport of football that we like, are we going to see that? Are we going to be able to play and feel it when we play this game? That's the point that I'm getting at. And if that's not happening, I can't rock with you like that. I can't. I just got to look at it and say, you know what? I appreciate your effort, but it ain't good enough. Get your weight up. You didn't make weight this time. You know what I'm saying? You didn't make weight. Maybe next year you can make weight. You know what I'm saying? But see, what the cool part is, like what they're saying here, is that from the interview, and I mean, I've listened to the dev talk before. He doesn't set this falsified expectation. You know, this lofty expectation that, oh man, we got something for EA. Just y'all wait. No, he's like, look, you didn't make y'all weight saying all that. You know what I'm saying? You didn't make weight. This is what I built. Okay, it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Y'all cats coming up with all these other things. All right, and I'm not saying that. And see that I respect the most, because I'm like, what did the man responsible for making the game say in regards to the game? Now we know how skewed dev interviews go when it comes to Madden. I always reference Sim's interviews because there's tons of stuff that said spot the heck on, and dudes just be skewing it. You know what I'm saying? They be skewing everything when it's clearly said in plain English, clear. You know what I'm saying? And dudes just take it all over the place. So it won't shock me the least bit to see dudes just get lofty with Axis, and people get disappointed and slam it. At the same time, you're gonna have people that are gonna praise it and enjoy it. And that's the thing. I want people to enjoy the game, honestly, but enjoy the game for what it realistically is, based off of what you actually see in play and what the dev says the game's gonna be. Not all this extra stuff that people making it up to be. So,
man, Smitty hit it right on the head, man. But I did want to take time really quick before we move on to the last topic. Pretty much, we'll talk about Gridiron. What's it called? Champions, I think. The IMV Gaming. You know, it's like Smitty just said. What I really respected, you know, and let me address this too, because I know some people, you know, this happens to us all the time. People hear what we say, spin our words. Somebody, I can guarantee you, there's gonna be somebody saying, "See, Smitty, he ain't trying to support it. He ain't gonna." Let me tell y'all something. What Smitty is saying is absolutely valid. Cause y'all remember when I said that? What did I say that about? Joe Montana. Remember? I was like, I ain't buying that daggone game. Show me what you're working with. Now I went mystical on him. Show me what you're working with. That's the only way that I was gonna play or buy that game. With Access, I said, you know what? The reason why I'm going to go ahead and support it, even if I don't play it, right? Here's my reasoning. Smitty is not wrong with what he's saying. I agree with him 100%, and I rock with him on that because I've done that with other games. The reason why I'm going to do it with Access, I have bought games $60 and barely play them. When the last time have y'all seen me play Uncharted? I keep saying I'm going to get back to it and still ain't played. So case in point, it ain't going to cost that much. And I applaud the effort. Access guys have been putting the game out for a couple years. They're continuing with it. So I'm like, you know what? I think I might support him this year. But then when I heard the podcast that he did over at DML, Andrew Malley right here is the guy, you know, who basically conducts the podcast over there. When JD Richards is on there telling the straight truth, like, I respect that. And, you know, I tell my wife this all the time. Like, you know, when we be looking at certain, say, celebrities or athletes, and I love truth because that's how I am. Like guys like, like Charlamagne from the Breakfast Club. Everybody don't like everything he says, but you know why I respect him and why I bought his book and all of that? Because he keeps it 100. I love people who tell the facts, the good and the bad. I respect anybody who's just being their self. Here's another person. A lot of people, and y'all know me being a hip-hop guy, I don't necessarily like Cardi B's music. It ain't really my cup of tea, but I like Cardi B because she's being herself. As ratchet and as hood as she is, trust me, I know. She's from the Bronx. I already know what it is in the Bronx. My wife is from the Bronx. I got family from New York. I already know what that is. She's a Hispanic chick from the Bronx. You're going to be hood. Let's just keep it real. But I like the fact that she's just who she is. So I'm just giving you guys examples. So J.D. Richards, he was just basically saying what it is. He went as far as saying, look, we ain't going to compete with Madden on certain levels. But hey, what we said, what we could do? We could basically do the things that maybe they're not doing so well. Or maybe introduce something that they don't necessarily have. He even said they're going to add some of their own sprinkles in the game. So even if you lose 16-0, there might be some other stuff still left in franchise for you to do. And I'm like, see, that's clever. I love that. And I said, you know what? After hearing that and after already seeing them continuing with it, expanding and all, doing it big, getting over the console, they got me. I'm going to, like I said, even if I don't like the game, I will support them. I've spent money on worse, but I will applaud that effort and I will do that. But please don't sit up here, and I already know it's going to happen. Don't y'all dare somebody say, oh, Smitty, see, he ain't about to, because y'all ain't about it either. Because a lot of the people saying that ain't going to do it. So Smitty has the full right to not support it, because like I've done that with plenty of games. Like I don't know if I'm going to support Canuck. I'm keeping it real. Maybe not even Cal's game either. But I'm telling you the reason why I'm going to support Access, and we'll see what happens. Now, let's get to this last topic here, which is funny, man. It was the shortest show, Smitty, and it seemed like we moving through it very, very briskly. Let's talk IMV Gaming, guys. I gotta be honest with y'all, man. I got a little disappointed earlier today. I started looking around because I was like, I wonder what's going on with that. I know a lot of people want college football, and I just started poking around, and I found out some stuff maybe that you guys already know that I'm just now getting hip to it. And let me give you a little bit of a track record. Let me give you some history on it. Smitty recalls me saying this a couple years ago. Smitty said the same thing. I was like, I don't know why the hype train is so big for this company. And let me tell you guys where I'm coming from. It has nothing to do with them as a company or anything. My concern was, am I the only one outside of Smitty? Because Smitty shared the same thought. Are we the only two sitting here with brains and we're like, okay, why are we getting so excited about an NCAA game knowing there will be no licensed NCAA game, and whenever it is, guess who's going to make one? Almighty EA. Which here's the plot twist, Smitty. A lot of people who hate Madden, what do they say? NCAA was better. Right? So yeah, those people, guess what game they gonna buy when it comes back out? They gonna buy NCAA. So I'm sitting here like, so why are we getting so hype about this game? Now, nobody was saying, at least I didn't see it, nobody was saying, oh, they're just gonna make just a basic college game and be customized. Nobody was saying that at first. Everyone that I was seeing was saying NCAA college football coming back, and I'm like, no, it's not. Fast forward to now. So I'm just looking up some information, and I do see that, I believe they're partnering with Big Ant Studios, which, that's a good look, a replicable studio. And we're going to lead into that, guys, so just follow me for a moment. And I saw there's screenshots and stuff that's out there now about, showing the stadium and showing the jerseys and the college names and all that. And guess what? It's generic. just like I thought it would be. So it made me think, okay, we going the generic route, which I knew was going to happen anyway. What did I say a couple years ago? The only way to make any noise if it's the real NCAA. Have we not seen this blueprint before, guys? All Pro Football 2K8 is the blueprint. We should always look back at All Pro Football and look at what happened. And that should let us know what would happen with any game that is not licensed. Neff made a good point. Kia made a great point about customization. And Kia said he loved Backbreaker as far as what it offered, customization. He just wasn't sold on field. Valid. I use Backbreaker and All Pro as the basic, basic two games that have set my argument here. You can customize Backbreaker to the T. I mean, we had that game, and I say we because it was a lot of people, but, you got to give credit to BB Highlights. Yeah. Doing, basically doing the customization of the uniforms at all, him and his brother. And then, our boy Neff comes in there and starts helping out with ratings. And then, the game was just, we pimped that game out as hard as we could, as to the maximum power. But even with that, it didn't catch on across the masses. And guess what? Remember I told you guys the time I was down at EA and happened to bump into the Backbreaker guys? How ironic. And we had that conversation, and they told us why they wouldn't be making another game. So my point is, getting back to IMV, how is it going to survive if it's a generic football game? I don't care how good it is. Again, our crowd, we'll give it a chance. I would play. Y'all remember Bill Walsh football? Did it have the real name?
Yeah.
No. And we rocked it out. Maybe because we was younger and we didn't care as much. But I played with College Station and I played with Tallahassee. Yeah, I knew it was my nose. But it didn't say, it didn't say Florida State. But what I'm saying is, at this day and time, it's going to be much harder to push that. Because even then, who was the publisher of Bill Walsh? Anybody? EA.
Yeah.
The big conglomerate. Dog. All I'm saying is I'm rooting for it, but I'm very nervous for them too, because exactly what I didn't want to be is what appears that it's going to be, unless something changes. But it appears that it's going to be a generic college football game. It's not a good look. Now, let's get to the Big Ant Studio part of it. I don't know if most of you guys know this. Let me get the link here on Operation Sports, and I'll link you guys to it because not everybody knows this. I know a good amount of you guys here go to Operation Sports from time to time like I do. So you may be aware, and I knew Smitty knew about this because I told y'all. Smitty knows everything about gaming, period. But there's a lacrosse game that I didn't even realize this. They've made for a couple years now, but the Casey Powell Lacrosse 18 will be coming out on April 17th. There's a new trailer, and also there's some details revealed. I'll actually give you the details really quick because it's very important to what I'm going to say here. It says it was an update on April the 10th. Casey Powell Lacrosse 18 has been delayed due to various approvals. The new release date is scheduled for April 17th on Xbox One, PlayStation, and the PC. Now it says here's a short list of improvements. There's a new movement system, graphics improvements, 60 frames per second, selective shooting controls, backhanded shot, motion capture for goalies, face-offs, dodges, shots, right joystick control, new dodges and toe drag, and stadium logo and stick creator. Interesting. So here's my question. Much like we compare FIFA to Madden because they're both on grass, do you guys think that this lacrosse game, who's also published by Big Ant Studios, will this give us any kind of indication, or can we use this as a measurement to kind of think what the IMV Gaming might be? as far as gameplay. Is it fair for us to do that? Now, let me give you the reason why I think it would be, and then I'll throw it to Smitty. Smitty and I have always done this. We have always said FIFA is, that's the pinnacle. That is our direct comparison for Madden. No, it's not as physical, 11 on 11, but they're on grass, basically the same amount of players, the running, player movement, one-to-one interaction, ball physics, all of that. Why you can't do this in Madden? Here is what you need to do. It's in your company. So I'm going to look at this lacrosse game. I don't know if I'm going to buy it, but if there's a way for me to watch gameplay or rent it or something like that, I'm going to look at that and be like, you know, can we take some things from that and kind of see what, even on a visual standpoint, what we would think IMV Gaming would look like. So that's really the tie-in, guys, as far as, you know, what do you think? I guess I'll ask you, Smitty, first. What do you think about that? I mean, you probably already knew this, but what do you think about that being, seems like it's just going to be a fully customized game with generic teams? And do you think we would be able to look at the lacrosse game and get some indication of perhaps what the, you know, what the college football game would look like?
No, I wouldn't use it. I wouldn't use I don't know. See, I really don't know how to call it, because I wouldn't necessarily use this as a measuring stick to be like, hey, yo, look at what's happening in this game, and this is what you can expect on the next. Like, I don't know if I want to do that, because, and I mean, the only reason, because they're trying to compare. See,
I feel you.
We're reaching at straws. See, once again, that's that whole reaching at straws and stuff. Like, and see, unfortunately, they don't have, well, at least from what I'm trying to look on YouTube and trying to find if they had any clips or anything of gameplay. But I don't see any gameplay here that's recent for their newest game. But when you look at, which, I mean, the game isn't bad for considering it's lacrosse, but it's lacrosse and it's not the same. And see, this thing, you haven't shown nothing yet, and you got people donating up the wazoo. You got my man QJB donating. You got professional football and basketball players and stuff talking about some bring back greatness and all that. Look. If it's you know, like I'm just saying, it, like, you can put together a tech demo and look extremely impressive. Okay, I mean, you can look like, hey, this is how it's gonna be, but then that's not it. You know, like what was it that we see happen with Battlefield and such? This is in-engine. You know what I mean? This is an in-engine trailer. They could do something like that and have a behind closed door presentation showcasing that stuff off, but that's not how the game's actually going to be. And I just don't trust, like I said, I still don't trust them as far as I could throw them. You know what I'm saying? Because we haven't seen anything. And they're up here talking about making all these donations and all that stuff. And we're trying to get this money, and I'm like, look, it's nice you get all these accolades, but see what you got, what they're doing wrong is that they're putting everything in one basket. They're putting all the eggs in one basket. If that sucker breaks, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? It is a complete wrap. And you haven't seen, and like I said, we have not seen any gameplay. Oh, excuse me. We haven't seen any gameplay, and then you also got, like I said, you still got Madden that's on the cusp of coming out. You know, we're gonna see that relatively soon. So it's like, you know, whatever it is that these guys got, or that they plan on putting out, or whatever, all they need to do is just show it and put it on out there. Don't do, because right now they looking just like Joe Montana. They're looking just like Joe Montana did. Damon Grohl put out some beautiful screenshots, and you saw a little trailer, and you had people so desperate for the little clips and stuff like that in the game. I mean, you had dudes doing video breakdowns on a ball spiral in the midair. You had dudes doing video breakdowns of a guy hurdling over a defender. Like, I mean, the desperation is legitimately it gets ridiculous. So that's what I'm saying. These guys are making a play on the desperation of people, and they're like, oh man, yes, let's just back it. Because if these pros are backing it, and if these named people are all backing it, then we definitely should back it. That doesn't mean it's good. Because all these people, I don't know. I don't know, man. I just feel a certain way about that, bro. Especially like you said, the point where NCAA football is the spot right there. Like, there are people that say, hey, yo, I'd rather play NCAA football. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's out right now. You know, I mean, NCAA 14 until we can get the next joint. And that's what I'm saying. Once that NCAA stuff clear up eventually, and it's cool to make a game, EA waiting. They are waiting. Just waiting to get the green light. As soon as they get that green light, ting, hey guys, officially announced. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's coming out. So they're waiting in the wings already. And I'm like, I'd rather have it be some established companies that are doing it instead of somebody who's basically got their back turned to everybody except they basically got their back turned with the back pocket sticking out saying, fund me, and maybe I'll show you at some point. Like, no. Show me what you supposedly are trying to do first. Then I'll let you know if I'm going to back you or not. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I don't trust that. In my opinion, technically they don't count. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else, I'll give it to Axis and the Canadian. Everybody else it don't count, man. That's corny, man.
When is the Connect game supposed to come out? Do you know? Because I kind of lost touch of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't check.
And what about Cal?
So
is he still doing stuff?
Oh, I have no. I honestly have no idea what he's doing. I think that he basically just went, faded to black and just is working on his stuff in the background. As far as I know, that's what he's doing. I haven't seen him tweet anything else out about his game for a minute. So, I mean, he hasn't tweeted at all. So I just think that he basically just faded from doing any YouTube updates or anything like that or whatever, and is just working on the game. That'd be my guess. So, I mean, heck, his website doesn't even work. Like, I'm on his Twitter page, and his last tweets were back in January. So, and that's, and I mean, like he has said, the last tweet he said was in reply to somebody saying, like, we're doing fine. Don't take silence as a lack of activity. We're working towards a game changer, not just a game. And that was his reply back to somebody else. So because of the silence, somebody tweeted him about him being silent, and that's what he said back to them. So that'd be just my assumption. He's working on something. We'll see it when they eventually rise up to the surface. So
yeah, man, I don't know, man. We'll see.
Yeah,
we will see. And like I said, that's the reason why Access is going to get my support. They out there. They the ones who have put out a product and stuck with it. I commend them for it, because the rest of it is just a lot of talking. I mean,
yeah.
So I don't know, man. I guess, man, what I would want to say is, I just find it crazy how people will reach so far. I'm just not built like that. I can't do it. Like I'm not. There's no way I will play with anything. And I ain't even talking about just video games. There's no way I will go with a lesser product just because I'm tired of something else. No way. I just can't. I just can't do it. You know, like even with things like music. You know, I don't listen to Young Thug. That just ain't my flow. That ain't me. But I'm not going to pump that just because that's what everybody else is rocking to and not listen to all the stuff that I love back in the day, or even, you know, some of the veteran cats who's still in the game. You know, I ain't going to just, I'm not just going to not listen to Nas no more. You know what I'm saying? Because Young Thug and these guys out. And here's the crazy thing, Smitty. Not only are you getting that, but you getting, like, these games to me is like, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but if we're just talking about, like, using music as a comparison, I mean, your Lil Uzi Verts, and you got a bunch of these popping up. And you know what I mean? Like, when the older games that were established, like I said, 2K5 is probably going to be a better playing game than most of these games. But at the same time, I'm not approaching it like that. I just don't get the people who are really for the community and for the betterment of games in general. Why it's kind of like you turn a blind eye to reality. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
If the lead designer for the game is telling you himself, listen, don't come looking at our game to be this or to be that. He basically said in his own words, we're just trying to offer an alternative. But on top of offering an alternative, listen, we ain't got nothing against the Madden people. You know, we want to offer something until they can get it going. That's literally what he said himself. He was like, they are billion. He said, man, they have, while we are, I think he said they like a team of up to like 12 now. I think 5 guys work on the game. He said, man, they got 60 engineers. He said, we can't compete with that. There's no way. And that's what I'm saying. If we are real in this community, everybody in this community needs to look at all of these games that we play and judge them accordingly. The same reason why y'all see me play so much MLB The Show, because I see stuff in the show that I'm like, man, I need Madden to get to that. Because I'm football first. So I feel like I need Madden to get there. That's why everything y'all see me do, I'm relating it back to Madden. Because Madden, let's face it, that is the only game on a AAA platform that matters. None of these other games are going to get to that. And unless there's a company, unless there's a 2K or San Diego Studios or somebody like that, Microsoft even. Unless somebody like that is making a football game, I can't look at those games and think that they're going to be any type of comparison top to bottom. Because as much as people want to say they hate Madden, and as much as it has problems, and as much as it hasn't improved the way we want it to improve, even in the franchise area, you going to tell me that the gameplay, you still wouldn't prefer to play that gameplay versus other like indie products? Because the gameplay is not going to be a comparison. But like I said, I'm being real with it. I'm going to play Axis and see what they got, franchise-wise and all that, because that's what they're saying they're really heavily focusing on. So that's really what I'm going to check out. I'm not expecting it to beat Madden's gameplay. If I'm not always happy with Madden, ain't no way I'm going to be always happy with that. That's all I'm saying. Keep it real with your assessments. That's what we've always done. I have no beef with Madden or EA, because to me it is just not that important. My life goes on whether they improve the game or not. I just would like them to improve it. So I'm going to keep giving my feedback, going down, but I'm at their mercy. I don't know what the game is going to be. That's why I find, I have fun elsewhere. I'm so immersed in MLB, it's ridiculous. Like, I'm like, wow. Am I gonna make another Madden video? But and speaking of that, for y'all that's been asking, I'll come back, and I'm gonna come back and do like a little franchise after the draft. Y'all know I do that pretty much every year, so that's when you'll see me making Madden videos again. As far as flaws and bugs for 18 now, what is the point? It's everything we all know. That cycle's over. And in case y'all don't know it, you know, a little nugget. I already know what's to come. So I'm past 18. You okay? I already know what the product is going to be, and that's all I'm gonna say. I can't say nothing else to y'all. But you see what I'm saying? Like, so for people that keep asking me, I gotta say this, man. Why you ain't putting? I see other people putting out. Why? I don't have to. Always remember that Smitty and I generally don't have to, because we are usually already informed, or we're usually already focusing on the next product. So it makes no sense for Sim to be making breakdown videos on Madden 18 now about the flow. I'm done. Madden 18 is in the rear. So there you have it.
We've made, and also this is the other thing too. We've made, I don't know how many videos about Madden 18 gameplay, or just about Madden issues themselves. Look, we've made videos publicly, privately, message people, message devs, spoke directly with devs, whether on phone, through messaging on Twitter or Facebook, in person. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've said all these things. We're at the station. Rex, Clint, Scant, A-Dub, whomever comes by the desk. Hey, this issue right here. The same stuff that we'll say in the video that we put out to y'all, and you guys leave y'all comments and all that stuff, and like the stuff we talk about in the show here. We've done all that stuff already. We did that. So this is the kind of stuff that we keep on, you know, that we keep on making. Like, we made these points. We pull up, yes, we bring up other games and everything and make these points. We've done all the same things and sent that to the dev team as well. We told them, like, look, this is what I'm hoping for. This is what I don't like. This is what we do like and need more of. We need less of this. We do that. So, you know, just because you don't see us out here doing those kind of videos 50,000 times and sounding like we're ready to just throw our TV, you know, out the window or something like that, we don't need to do all that. We already made the points long time ago. We do that because we understand when these cycles kick off. They kick off relatively soon after the game is produced. That's why when some people watch us and see us do, you know, wish lists and, oh man, we need to see this in the next Madden, people be like, oh, the game's broke. Like, no, it's not that. We're just telling them, we're letting them know already, like, points of emphasis, potential points of emphasis based off of what we're already playing. So that's why we do that's why we do that stuff, man. And that's why you see other guys, other game changers and stuff do those kind of things too. So, you know, some people don't, you know, like I said, some people make the best. Some of the best moves that you make are ones that you don't see or speak about. You just make them. And me and Sim do that a lot. We don't sit up here and brag and boast and everything. We let you guys know what we do because we're community representatives. But we could completely shut, you know, we just decided to shut down and not say nothing. We could just keep quiet and just act like everything's all hunky-dory. But on the background, we're like, hey, man, look, y'all need to do blah, 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 blah. So, but we let y'all know how we get down. So, you know.
Yeah, man, and just I'll give y'all another quick tidbit. Just a little tip that some of y'all should have probably have been able to notice by now. We'll end the show on this. The reason why y'all probably can notice every year when I stop making videos, that should give you an indication that, oh, Sam already, he knows what's going on. Just to give y'all that quick tip. But the reason why I got to say that is because here's a real reason why. You remember when I used to make videos and telling on myself here a little bit. Remember when I used to make videos close to the cycle? And then all of a sudden, when the game come out, you be like, hey, that was what's up. I was strategically doing that. But I don't do that no more because I'll explain to you why. You got to be very careful because, and I've said this before, when you're under NDA, right? For example, it's no secret. Yes, you know, in case y'all want to know, I've been to EA this year. Okay? When you're under NDA, here's the thing. There's stuff that I might talk to them about that's for a year or 2 or 3 away, right? So you have to be careful with that information because let's say I make a video like I'm going to use something that already was out. When I started talking about DB and wideout interactions real heavy. Y'all remember that a year or 2 ago? I started talking about it like close to the cycle. I mean, close to the release date because I already knew it was coming. I didn't tell y'all, but I already knew, oh yeah, it's coming. So, you know, I'm going to make this video and, you know, because it's funny because some people be like, oh man, Sim is smart. He said it. But really, I was just doing that so y'all know, look, this is something that I've already talked to them about and guess what? It's actually coming. So when it came out, you'd be like, oh, okay, I see what he was doing. That's why I always used to tell y'all, listen, I'm just letting y'all know the kind of stuff that we're campaigning for. Some of it, you know, obviously is stuff I can't tell you that may not have come out. But to get back to the point, the reason why you have to be careful with that is because that could be perceived as, is he leaking information? You see what I'm saying? Even though I'm not. Somebody could perceive it as that. What if I were to make a video now and let's say it's a feature in Madden 19? You know, a PR person or somebody could say, didn't say, but it's kinda. So that's why lately, like last year and stuff, you don't see me do that no more. So I love to always be real with y'all and tell y'all why things are. Because people do ask me that. Some people haven't cared about me making Madden videos. But people have asked, hey man, why haven't you? But that's why. Once I know information, I got to be very careful about, you know, because again, you could see a pattern. Like some people could say, wait, I remember when he said that back in January. And then, does he do that all the time? So that's why you won't see me do that. That's
for a pattern.
Right. From now going forward, anytime I give Madden feedback, y'all going to see me going heavy early, like October, November, December, right around that time, done. The only thing I'll do after that is I'll make a video of talking about something in the game. But you won't hear me say no more, man, they got to do this. Because by that time, after like around that time, I probably know what's going on. So y'all got to respect that. And I think you guys can understand that. I'm pretty sure most of you understand that. But there's your reason if y'all were wondering why you haven't seen me make a ton of feedback videos and what they should be doing. You remember I did that early. I did that early in the year. Like months ago. So there you have it. But great show, man. You know, we did a relatively short show, but I think we covered a lot of information. And, you know, it was a good one. And we appreciate you guys coming through. Anything else you want to wrap up with, Smitty? You got any last words here?
No, just appreciate everybody coming through, commenting, and, you know, all that good stuff. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Like, it was fun discussing with you guys, and definitely look forward to next week. And if you guys got some topics, definitely let us know. Let us know.
Please.
If you want to get on too, definitely let us know. You know what I mean? You, as a guest panelist or what have you. Yep. It would be great to do that.
Different format now, in case you guys are wondering. We are on Skype. We have had a call since we went to Skype, so it works like that. Basically, the thing that would be different now is we'll just need your Skype name, and we'll bring you on, and just like we did before. But as you can see, being on Skype finally allows us to do more stuff. We can, you know, this is just a little da-dun background we have now. Hopefully we can, you know, get that better at some point. But it just gives us a little more flexibility on OBS rather than what we were doing in Google Hangouts. So that's going to do it for tonight, guys. We will catch you guys next week. And here's a round of applause for you guys coming through. The numbers were very good tonight, so we appreciate that. But outside of that, man, make sure you watch some NBA basketball this weekend. Playoffs are starting. Keep an eye on your football teams. You know, the draft stuff is about to come up soon, so that's going to be interesting. So that's all we got, man. I hope everybody has a nice, safe weekend. Be easy, and we'll catch you guys next week. All right? Y'all be good. Peace.
Peace.